sure you know more than I, so that's all that matters.
All right. So, just to start this video, the whole entire idea is we're doing a demo. It's going to be me, Asa Qureshi. I'm the CEO of Monte Castle Gaming, creator of Genesis, and I'm demoing this to David. Do you want to do a little introduction of yourself?
Sure. For those that don't know, my name is David. I am with a store in America, in Connecticut specifically, Unison Games Cafe, and we're the premier place for high-end tournaments and espresso drinks in the Northeast.
Nice.
And we're very interested in Genesis as kind of like we've talked about off camera, as a tactical card game. So
Yeah. I gotta definitely ask you about the special, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But I love that you threw that in there. That's awesome.
hmm
Uh, so just I'm gonna be doing this demo. I know, David, you've done some research on your own. I'm just gonna do this demo as
yes,
though you know nothing,
yeah. Well,
and
I
walk.
don't know anything, so who knows?
Fair enough. So I'll just walk through everything. Let's start off by talking about what is a tactical collectible card game. What is Genesis? So the
Sure.
key here in Genesis is, unlike other games, we really wanted to give you the experience of getting out from behind your hand and actually being a character in gameplay. So on the board here, we have Malik. He plays as a barbarian. He's very aggressive, in your face. And the other character here is Raha, who's a strategical archer, gonna be spending more time doing tactical maneuvers compared to running into combat. The key about Genesis is your champion that you pick, you are that champion. So every champion will have unique stats in the top left corner. So there's three banners, a red, blue, and green banner. These are your champion's unique stats, and every champion plays differently. So the first banner, the red banner, is your starting health. This is just your starting amount. You can go over this. So if you play a card that heals you above it, you'll go over that number. The second number is your aura. That's your starting aura. Aura works like a currency in this game. You start off with all of it right away, and you spend it as the game goes on. But once you run out of aura, you're just not allowed to do things that cost aura. Aura is usually tied to more magical abilities, like casting spells, bringing out creatures. And then the third resource is energy. That's that green banner. So cards that cost energy. So for example, if we look at Raha, her second ability, area range attack 1. In that white box, it says exert and energy 3. This means to play that ability, you have to take the top 3 cards of your deck and discard them. And the moment you hit 0 cards in your deck, you lose the game. So energy it feels like a free resource at the beginning of the game because you're not, those cards are just gone. There isn't a huge price to pay for them. But if you overuse it, then you'll lose through this kind of greediness. Now the green banner, because both the characters we're playing with are fighters, they have a tolerance to doing energy abilities. So instead of an ability costing Raha 3 energy, it's going to only cost her 2. And this is her energy reduction. Make sense so
Okay.
far?
So the green banner essentially takes that off the top.
Yes,
The one.
exactly.
Very
Uh,
cool.
so you'll notice that casters have a lot more aura, fighters have energy reduction.
Okay.
And fighters tend to have more health. Casters will have lower health. They're more dedicated towards their secondary ability. So the next thing I want to point out on the cards is this awareness grid, which is at the top middle of the card. The white arrow is the spot you're on and the direction you're facing, and the red dots are your champion's awareness. So for Raha, if she's sitting right here, her awareness is this square, this square, this square, and this square. So that
Okay.
means if Malik is over here, she is able to shoot Malik from this distance. But
Gotcha.
Malik, on the other hand, he only has the awareness of right in front of him, so he cannot attack back.
Okay.
This is as we get into the game, you'll find that direction and distance matters a lot. But right now, it's just these grids.
Right.
The awareness of the champions is tied directly to their 2 abilities below them. So we'll talk about Malik's abilities first. I don't know where your camera is exactly. I should really be sharing my screen in Discord as well. Um, but for Malik here, he has two abilities. Every ability is written the same way. In the black box is the speed of that ability. So you have swift and action. In
Oh,
the
I see. Okay.
Yep. In the center in bold is the name of the ability. So basic attack 2 or heavy attack 4. The white box is the cost of the ability. And underneath all of that is the reminder text of what that ability does. Make sense?
Gotcha. Okay. So, we're going to be dealing with essentially what some other people might be familiar with is instance or, main phase abilities or what have you.
Correct.
Okay, very good.
So swift abilities can be done during my turn, your turn, or in response to any other ability on the stack. Action abilities can only be done during your main phase while the stack is empty.
Gotcha. Okay.
All attack abilities are written the same way. So they'll have the keyword attack in them. There'll be a number in brackets, that's how much damage you're outputting. And then before the word attack is all the attributes of the attack. So basic just means it's doing straight 2 damage. But heavy attacks, meaning it's doing 4 heavy damage. And all heavy attacks are also action speed. But if we move
Gotcha.
over
Okay.
to Raha,
Standardization.
yeah, with Raha, she has range attack 2, meaning that this does 2 range damage. And area range attack 1, meaning this does 1 range damage to the entire area, all 4 squares. So this is your
Okay.
AoE attack. She's just volley of arrows.
Everything in her awareness. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
correct.
Now, with that being said, with those essentially those suffixes,
Mm-hmm.
not saying it exists in the game currently, but could a character be immune to area damage? And then that Raha's second ability would say, oh, this is area damage because it says area range attack.
So yeah, exactly. They're
Oh, okay.
straight off the bat. One thing we won't see them in this deck, but there are
Sure.
creatures with an ability called Aerial, meaning that the only attack abilities that can target them are range attacks because they're flying, they're in the air. You can only shoot at them.
Gotcha.
So they're essentially immune to stuff like basic attacks or heavy attacks.
Right.
And then if we look at this Infernal Ghoul that I placed off to the side, you'll notice
Mhm.
he has a fire attack too, meaning he does 2 fire damage. There are cards that have a fire resistance or a fire weakness, taking less or
Okay.
more damage from that. All right. So we walked through kind of how the champions look. A lot of the cards are very straightforward. If you've played Magic, you'll be able to read through them and understand what they do. The one thing
Mhm.
I want to get into before we jump into the game right away are summons. So every summon has a beckon ability, and that's how you're getting them from your hand onto the board. You'll notice that they're almost always an action speed. Then you got the cost. So for Infernal Ghouls, it's 6 aura. Then it says you place this summon on a spot adjacent to you. So we'll move Raha out of the way. Adjacent are these 4 orthogonal squares.
Yep.
So it's in any of those 4 spots facing the same direction as you. So if Malik's facing this way, Infernal Ghouls is coming out this way.
Okay.
And then they come out exerted. So we'll grab these little shards here and place it on it to say it's exerted. Exertion means this summon cannot use abilities that cost exert. It won't get a turn for the round, and but besides that, it can still function outside of there. Sorry if that's a little bit, but like for Infernal Ghoul, when it first comes out, you can imagine exert kind of being like summoning sickness.
Sure.
It just can't do anything right away.
Okay.
But next round, it will lose this exert token, being able to take its own turn, and then you'll see that its attack ability costs exert. So when it goes to attack, it just exerts itself and deals its damage. But while it's exerted, it can't play that attack ability.
Okay, because you can't double exert essentially.
Correct. It's like
Okay, that's important wrinkle because I think in most card games, again, this is a little bit different. In most card games, you would, tap or turn it sideways, but turning it sideways is very strategic in this game.
It absolutely
So
matters. You can't.
yeah, exactly. You can't turn it sideways. You're cheating.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So just to wrap up with the champions, Malik's ability, so he has a Swift basic attack 2, which just costs Exert. He has the Action Heavy Attack 4, which costs Exert and 2 health. And then Raha, you got the Swift Range Attack 2, which just costs Exert. And then Swift Area Range Attack 1, which costs Exert. And you discard 2 cards off the top of your deck because she has a reduction of 1.
Okay.
Alright, so without too much information, I'm going to let you choose which champion of these two kind of sings to you a little bit more. Malik the Brute, Raha the Archer.
I always like my archers, so we'll go with Raha.
So Raha's going to start over here. Malik's going to start over here. So just click and drag the card. And then I think you're going to hit... Yep, perfect. All right. So normally decks are 50
starting to come back
decks.
to me.
So normally decks are 50 cards, but these are just the sample decks. I'll actually be sending you these sample decks, so these will be the exact ones you'll get. They're 40 card decks, and they're properly balanced. So normally when you go to put a card in your deck, the symbols on the card have to match up with symbols on your champion. So even though this card has the top symbol, Malik can't play it because he doesn't have the blue symbol. But Raha
Oh, you need them both. Okay. Very cool.
So if a card has both yellow and blue, then Raha can play it. But if it's blue and purple, then Raha cannot play it.
Mm.
So that's one rule. The second rule is that your deck has to be 50 cards. These are demo decks, ignore that. But normally your deck has to be exactly 50 cards. Then you'll notice on every single card, there's a gray banner in the top right corner. That gray banner, that's the chi of the card, or the deck cost of the card. Your total deck's cost has to be 250 points or less. But you're not restricted on the number of copies of a card in your deck.
Oh, so you can have it probably wouldn't be very efficient, but you could have a whole deck of Thunderstrucks, as long as you keep on.
So Thunderstrucks are 7. So they're pretty high on the scale, which means you got to balance them out with a 3. And so you'd have 50% of your deck this amazing card, and 50% of your deck that's garbage. And then it's just flipping a coin. Are you going to get the good card or the bad card?
Interesting.
But if you have a card, sorry.
With that being said, maybe you could touch on that. I saw on the rule book that balancing thing that you just mentioned. Like if you're going to put a 6 in your deck, you should probably balance it with a 4. Is that an actual rule requirement, or is that just a good strategy to have?
It makes the math a little bit easier. I like doing groups of 10. So if you're doing a 7, you balance it with a 3. If you're doing a 6, you balance it with 4. Some people do things differently. So if you're putting in, you can also balance 2 6s with a 3, because that gives you 3 cards at 15 points, and that's balanced. You can put in 2 4s to balance out 1 7. It just depends on what you're looking at when it comes to deck design.
Okay, but it's not necessarily a requirement.
No.
To build in any way other than you have to be at under 250.
Correct.
Okay.
So like Walls of Vadis here. This one has a chi of 5. You could have a deck of 50 copies of these if you wanted to.
Right. Okay.
It's that conversation of do you want consistency, or do you want to be able to deal with a lot of different threats that come your way?
Right. Exactly. Like you were just talking about being aerial. If you built your deck all making sure that you drew a certain card, and then all of a sudden, there's an aerial summon and you can't deal with it, it might be bad. So
yeah, exactly. And that's the one thing I find myself in the trap of so often. You'll find that, so this game does not have a mulligan rule. Yeah.
I love it. You get what you get and you don't get upset.
Yeah, exactly. And we're just implementing a sideboard rule. But even our sideboard rule won't give you the same flexibility as it does in other games.
Sure.
So, because we're playing on Tabletop Simulator, we get some advantages here. These are infinity bags right behind your champion. So if we throw dice into there and one of these coins, you now have infinite copies of those.
Awesome.
So we're going to need some dice. We're going to need some exert tokens. And then you're going to place your deck. Over here, you have your timeline, which is your deck.
Yeah.
Memories, which is your discard pile. And your subconscious, which is your outside of game cards, if you need tokens, right?
Okay.
So F flips the deck over. and then R shuffles it. All right. So since this is your first game, I'm going to be the starting champion. But normally you would roll a dice to figure out who the starting champion is.
Okay.
So in the red box over here, you want to set your starting health, and in the blue one, you want to set your starting aura.
Okay. Very good. Oop. Double checking. So 22 and 95 is me. Okay.
Start off with 30 health and 80 aura.
5. Okay.
Perfect.
So to reiterate, obviously ranged, it kind of takes the classic tropes where, you're a wizard, somebody who's wearing light armor is going to have less health, but maybe be more maneuverable or have more aura, as you put. I've got 95 and you only had 80. So
correct.
Okay.
So yeah, we followed a lot of tropes. A big influence for this game was Diablo.
Very nice.
So having that feeling of those heroes that are encountering bigger than life type of scenarios and following those tropes of that RPG feel.
Very good.
Definitely a thing for us.
Awesome.
Right. So now with deck shuffled, we start the game off by drawing 5 cards.
Okay.
All right. So normally I have a little tip card, and you'll get these with the demo decks, but we don't have them on Tabletop Simulator. But it outlines how the game works. So I'm going to reiterate this as many times as possible so that we're not confused. But the game plays with a series of rounds and turns. Each champion and each summon gets their own turn, where they go through 3 phases of move, main, and end. During your move phase, that's your opportunity to navigate through the board. Main phase is where you can play any action speed abilities or any other abilities you want. And end phase is where you can play as many swift abilities as you want, but also that the stack opens up to everyone. So anyone can play swift abilities during someone else's end phase. Or start a stack during someone else's end phase. So those are the turns. Then during the round. So the round starts with all exert tokens being removed and both champions drawing a card. So even though we have 5 cards in our opening hand, we get to draw 1 more because it's the beginning of the first round.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go through turns, and during turns, everyone will get exert tokens. Once everyone's exerted, the round ends. There's 1 more opportunity to play any swift abilities if you want to. Besides that, we go to the next round by taking off the exert tokens. So good. We're now going into turns. I'm the starting champion, so I get the first turn of every single round, no matter the situation. My team always gets to go first.
Okay.
There's definitely advantages to that, but there's definitely huge disadvantages to it as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to start by going into my move phase. During my move phase, I can move once and rotate, and that's considered 1 action during my move phase. And then at that point, I can either decide to move again or go into my main phase. So it's kind of like D&D in that regards, where you can either...
Yeah, you can like charge. Or...
Yeah, you can charge, or you can stay where you are and play kind of your slower abilities.
Okay.
So I'm going to just move once, no rotating, and then I'm going to beckon out this Grey Wolf. It costs 10 aura, so I go from 80 down to 70. It's facing the same direction as Malik, and then I exert. I'm still in my main phase. As long as I'm in my main phase, I can continue playing things until I'm done. There's no limitations on how many things you can play. So I'm going to play a second Grey Wolf over here, spending another 10 aura, exerting that. There's nothing more I want to play, so I end my turn by exerting myself. And now it goes over to your turn.
Now, to take 1 step back, where you said you had the option to double move, you could go here. Would that forfeit your main phase?
So if I move twice, it skips my main phase, takes me to my end phase, in which I can still play swift abilities. So you can still run forward twice and shoot your arrows if you want.
Okay, that was my next example, is that if during my phase I did one of those, I could shoot because it's a swift action. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Easy enough.
Mhm.
And then, all right, hit points on Grey Wolves is 1, but I don't necessarily know if I want to get heavy attacked by Malik. So, okay, so that's your end phase. So now it's back to mine. I don't draw a card because we did that at the beginning of the turn, or
Correct.
the round, I should say, right?
Correct.
Okay. The hmm. All right. So I will start mine by moving. Let's do this. Might not be a good idea. Um, and then I can kind of just play any actions you said.
Correct.
So let's see. Alt zooms in on tabletop, right? I should make
Yes.
sure I.
Yeah.
Here we go.
If you're having overcard, hit Alt, and they give you giant version.
All these choices. Okay. Well, we're just looking to play here. So if I see it correctly, this looks like it costs 8.
Correct.
If I put a walls and it says action, place walls on an unoccupied spot in the arena. So I'm assuming that's anywhere.
Correct.
Okay, and that looks like it cost 8. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. So I do love myself some math. So boom, that's going to bring me down to 87. Because that's going to cost 8. It's got 8 continuous. Champions and summons cannot move onto walls. So here's hoping that Malik has to go around. Or, because it has hit points, you can attack it, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't look like I exert it, but
No.
it looks like it doesn't also do anything. So there it
So
is.
it's an alteration. Alterations are just terrain pieces. Once they hit the table, they just live through their life. They're agnostic of their champion or any teammates.
Oh,
So they
okay.
just do their thing.
Very good, very good. All right. And
I don't
then I'm
see the
also...
aura change. I'm just gonna.
Oh, it says 87. Did it not work for you? Or does it not show for you?
Yeah, it didn't update. Maybe hitting enter and seeing if that.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay. There we go. And then let me get a couple guardians out here. I'm gonna play. Let's see.
Sarah.
Back in is gonna be looks like 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah.
7. Now is that
Aura.
7 energy?
So that's 7 aura.
Okay, good. I thought it. So that's gonna bring me down to 80.
Mm-hmm.
Facing the same direction, then exert it. Okay. So we're gonna get one of these guys on there. And then, do I want another thing? Maybe we'll get somebody on the other side to take that guy coming. So yeah, I see this. You get front loaded all this aura, but you still have to be mindful about it.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be another 5 for me.
So
That's
that costs 9 aura and it's 5 cheap. So
oh, it's the
remember.
beckon. Gotcha. Okay, I was looking at the wrong banner. Yep.
Yep.
So
Down to
I'm
71.
losing 971. There we go. Okay, very good. So I should be down, let's see, 7 and 16? Because the beckon was 7 on the Androthera.
Yeah.
And
so 16 plus the
Killer.
8 from the wall bottoms.
Right, so it's 24, so 95. Okay, very good. Just make sure I got my math right. All right, well, I think I got a couple guys out there. I don't know if I want to, because that's the other thing I'm looking at right now too, is that you have to they have to show up in the same direction.
Yeah.
So now I assume during your move phase you can just turn in space.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
Right.
So then I am going to exert myself, correct?
Yep.
To
So now,
end.
since all the champions and summons are exerted, we can end this round, and we
Okay.
go into the next round by taking off these exert tokens and drawing a card.
Good.
All right.
Now we had a moment there if we needed to that we could do like a swift action,
Yes.
right?
There aren't very.
Who has priority of that?
So it starts with the starting champion. So it'll start with me. I get asked,
Gotcha.
do I have any swifts? No. Then it goes over to your team. All right.
Gotcha.
So, draw a card for new round.
Okay.
Now, a few rules things here. One of the biggest
Sure.
rules in Genesis is that the game favors the defender. And the way we show that is by having all attacks go onto the stack and resolve that way as well. So if my Grey Wolf was to take its turn, it has the same turn order as I do. So it can move twice, skipping its main phase, and then attack your Androthera.
Right,
But
with the
since you're
swift dark attack.
correct,
Gotcha.
but since your Androthera has a swift attack itself, and it's not exerted, it could respawn by attacking back. Your attack would
I
resolve
see.
first, killing my Grey Wolf. Since it's dead, its ability gets removed from the stack, and your Androthera lives.
Very good. So it gets removed from the stack. It's not, what some people might be, what might, be used to is that it still doesn't resolve now that he's gone. Okay.
Yeah. The big idea here is that we wanted to lean more on the physical side of combat. And the idea if I'm swinging a punch at you and you kill me before my punch lands, well, my punch is
Yeah,
never
you're
going
dead.
to land. Right? But
That's very thematic. I like that.
the other cool thing here is that when I go to attack, just because these two are the ones engaged in combat does not mean that they're the ones who have to respond. Raha could respond by shooting Grey Wolf and kill it. And then
I see.
Androthera still gets its turn. So,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. Since you're
Oh, right,
now.
because that would have exerted me to fight back with Androthera's range attack, but
Correct.
since you're in my awareness, Raha could just snipe you. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So,
Very cool.
advantages of playing an archer, right?
Yeah, so I have a very good battle line, and I didn't even know it. I love it.
The other part to it is that the turn order here gets a little interesting. So, my team has 3 turns, your team has 3 turns. I pick one character, I'm the starting champion, I get the first turn. So, I pick one
Sure.
character and do a full turn with them. Then you pick
Gotcha.
one of your 3 characters and do a full turn with them. Then it comes
Okay.
back to me, then back to you, then back to me, then back to you, until everything's exerted. So, the way I'm gonna start this, since I'm in a pretty bad situation with this Androthera over here, I'm gonna have, so this can come and swing up to here. If it moves twice, it can swing up to here. But there's no way for it to get to this corner. So I'm gonna have this Grey Wolf move twice, go to this corner, and then end its turn. And now it goes over to your team.
What to do? That is very interesting.
There was one thing I forgot to mention.
Sure.
So we were talking about how the game favors the defender. This is where direction really matters. If Grey Wolf was to get over here somehow and attack, then you cannot attack back because I'm outside of your awareness and outside of Raha's awareness.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I came in from the side and attacked, then there's nothing you could do about that. Or it's the same thing if my Grey Wolf can get to the side of your Hound, then your Hound can't defend that.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind
Easy
of like
enough.
chess where you got to block one unit with another unit. And if they can get in that right attack slot, then
I think that's a very cool thing that gives it another element where again, maybe I've got a stronger summon out or something like that, but your maneuverability or your strategy might overtake that. So very cool.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of do what you did, and I'm gonna go. So even though I'm not facing this direction, I can still go sideways.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a double move myself to there.
Movement can always be done in any of the 4 adjacent squares as long as they're unoccupied. So Raha cannot move where the Hound is, but she could still move to any of these 3 squares.
Gotcha. And all right, so they're gonna move up there to kind of keep the pressure on, and that's my turn for Androthera.
So another thing I wanted to mention is that the cards in your hand, they're called your thoughts, right? And the only one who has access to your thoughts is the champion, is yourself. So your summons can never play cards from your hand. They cannot access your resources. They cannot pay energy from your deck. They are they are their own unit separate from you. And that's why they can, separate away from you and have their own strategy that they're trying to execute here.
Gotcha. But if you have cards in your hand that they themselves have an area of effect or an awareness, it's still based off of your hero.
Yes, correct. So
Gotcha.
if you have a card in your hand that only can target the spot in front of you, despite the fact that Raha has the 4 spots, that card can only target someone in front of them. Because
Gotcha.
Raha's awareness is only for her 2 abilities, not for the cards in her hand.
Cool. All right.
All right.
So you're telling me Indrothera can't smoke bomb
No,
to go back 2 spots.
only Raha
Very good.
can.
Okay.
All right. That wall is ruining things.
Great.
Let's
That was the plan.
go here and exert. So I just move once, and then just end
Sure.
the turn by exert.
Okay. Let's see. What do we want to do here? I'm going to move Raha sideways here.
Okay.
And I'm going to play a cub for 6. And that's gonna exert the cub. Boop. And I will also play another wall, which is going to be another 8. That's going to put me down to 57. And then I think that's it. So that exerts Raha, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Malik's gonna move once, move twice, skipping the main, going to the
Yep.
end, and declaring the 2 attack against the cup.
Oh, goodbye, cub. And because I'm exerted, I do not get the swift retaliation, if you will. So this is going to go into my memories.
Yep.
All right. And I'll exert
You will
token.
always remember him. And now it goes up to Jillian.
Okay. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and turn. In case you get a little cheeky there. And I'll exert there.
All right. So everything's exerted. That's the end of the round.
Yep.
Let's take these off and draw a card. All right.
All right.
Let's put some pressure here on here. I'm going to. There's so many fun things I want to do. Okay. Let's see how this turns out. I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna start by playing a leap. So leap costs 3 energy, but I have that reduction of 1, so I'm taking 2 cards off the top of my timeline and sending them to my memory. What this does is it allows me to move to this spot in specific. Once I get there, I can rotate.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you can rotate because it's a move?
No, it's what the.
Oh, you may rotate. It says it right in there. There you go.
Yep. It says it explicitly on the card. So now that this is here, your team has an opportunity to respond. So either if you have something you want to play from your hand, or if you want the Androthera to attack before I jump away.
So I can exert myself to do my swift attack.
Yes. It will leave you exposed from this Grey Wolf, but it does give you an opportunity to just swing at Malik for 2.
I will choose not to.
All right. So
Do I still get to play? So much like you just played a card from your hand, if I had a card in my hand with Swift, can I play that?
yes.
Okay. So I guess in response to that, I will play a
Smoke.
smoke bomb.
Uh, all right. So we're gonna put Smoke Bomb on top of here to indicate the stack order.
Okay.
So now you're paying 10 aura and 2
Yep.
cards off the top of your deck.
Oh no. And so you just grab one,
Yeah.
and it goes to memory, right?
Yeah. So F flips
Okay.
it over.
Oh, can I flip it while I have? Oh, I do. Oh, very good. So 1 and 2, and then we're going 10. You said, yeah.
Yes.
So we're going down to 47. Okay.
All right.
And then I can kind of do
So
one of
before
these
that
jobs.
resolves,
Oh, you get Swift?
yep, I'm gonna Swift
Ah.
Malik's basic attack onto the stack against the Androtherm.
Oh no.
So that exerts
Um.
me as the cost.
Okay. And now, can I use Androthera's
Correct.
Swift attack to stack?
Yep. So we'll just take
Now
that,
that I
put
know I'm
that
gonna
over here,
die.
and we just exert.
Okay.
And then there's nothing more I want to do. Is there anything more you want to do?
There is not.
That smoke bomb really. I was hoping you'd do it later. So we just resolve this stack in order. So the Andro hits me for 2. I go down
Okay.
to 28. I hit the Andro for 2, killing it off.
Yeah. So goes Andrew.
Now smoke bomb
Everybody.
resolves.
Yep. So I can
Yeah.
do one of these.
And then leap puts me here, and I'll take the rotate.
There you go.
All right. So since I'm exerted, that will take me straight to my end phase. So if you get exerted during your main phase for any reason, then you resolve the stack. But at the moment the stack ends, you get shifted straight to your end phase. So at this point, I can still play any Swifts if I want to. There's none I want to play. So I just resolve my turn, and then it goes over to your team. So you have.
Now, does that mean you can't do anything with your Grey Wolves because your main phase is done?
No, the Grey Wolves will get their own turn separate from Malik's
Gotcha.
turn.
But Malik is done for
Yes.
purposes of actions and whatnot, so I don't have to worry about another leap currently. All right, interesting. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go 1, 2, and turn.
Yeah.
Um,
And now you can only play
Yeah.
Swift speed abilities.
so I can use my range attack 2
Correct.
and give you a little
Shut
hello
the
shot
hell
here
up.
for 2. Yeah. All right. So that's Raha.
All right. Now. Okay, let's get here. See if you're willing to separate your hound. All right, now it's your hound's turn.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to take the advantage to do a double move and basic attack on Malik.
So we're gonna start with the stack here. I have a
Yep.
response to that. So I'm
Of
gonna
course
be
you
playing
do.
a card called Rampage Sauce. It costs 3 cards off the top of my deck.
Okay.
And what it will do, if it resolves successfully, is I get to deal 2 damage to the person in front of me. Then I take them and I throw them into any of the spots around me.
Oh, geez.
So this is a good opportunity to explain the difference between adjacent and around. So
Right.
adjacent are just the 4 orthogonal squares. Around are all 8 squares around.
Oh, okay.
So Rampage Sauce allows me to throw on angles.
Okay.
So I did this. Now, the Hound, there's nothing more the Hound could do. But if Raha has something in her hand that she wants to do in response to Rampage Sauce, you can. So it'd have to be Swift speed.
Yeah, and I do not.
So we let the Rampage Sauce resolve. So the Hound takes 2 damage. This is where the
Yep.
wonderful dice will come in.
Put on a 2.
Yep. And then I'll take it and I'll toss it right here. So now its
that's
attack
fine.
tries to resolve, but since I'm no longer within its awareness, the attack fizzles and does nothing.
Gotcha. All right. Foiled again. Gotcha.
So I'll let you know. Champions are really good at defending their front, the spot directly in front of them.
Sure.
They sometimes can defend the spot behind them, but almost never can defend the spots to their sides.
Okay.
Now, as the card pool
No.
changes, that rule may change, but for now, that's a pretty safe bet.
Okay.
All right, my Grey Wolf's gonna move in twice and attack that hound.
No. That's gonna take out the hound.
All right, and that ends the round.
All right. Very good.
All right,
My
the last little bit of rules that I want to explain. So take off the counters, draw a card. It's the keyword place. So you'll see on the summon's beckon ability, it says place this summon on a spot adjacent to you. There's a big difference between placing a card and moving a card. Moving a card, they're blocked by occupied spots. So like Malik cannot move onto the same spot as Raha, or Malik can't move onto the same spot as Grey Wolf. But if an ability says place, you can place multiple things on top of each other, no matter if that spot's occupied or not.
Okay.
So if you're ever surrounded and you're like trapped into a corner, you can still beckon summons. They'll just go on top of the other summons in the same spot.
okay.
That rule is primarily in there for that situation, so you can never be truly boxed in. You can always play summons. However, they'll come out exerted. They cannot attack things on the same spot as them, so they'll have to move off and face back at those things and attack them. But,
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right.
They still have to respect awareness, essentially.
Yes.
Right.
Correct. All right. Let's come in with the Grey Wolf attacking for 3 from behind.
Can't do anything about that. I will take 3.
All right. It's your go.
I am going to double move to here. See if I want them, and I think I'm going to maintain that facing.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. I don't know what's in your hand, but just looking at the board state, I would have recommended to at least try to take out this Grey Wolf, because this one can't get to you, right? The furthest it can move.
Oh, that's true, and technically neither can Malik, right?
The furthest I can
Unless
move
you get
is
something.
here, right? Now, next round, I will be able to get to you, but at least there's one less summon you have to deal with at that point.
Okay. Well, let's do that. Boom. But I have to turn at least, right? Yeah. Okay.
So this Grey Wolf's gonna come over here.
And as the game's progressing here, I'm noticing that, I had my first 2 initial summons, and obviously the walls, but, when your summons die, you need to draw into more of them. So
yeah, being strategical, like I had these Grey Wolves since turn 1, right?
Right.
And being able to play defensively with them, not letting them recklessly die, it takes some time and practice getting better at that.
Sure.
So I'm gonna just move once with Malik. I'm gonna drop an Inferno Pits over here. So it costs 12. Whenever someone walks onto Inferno Pits, they take 2 damage, 2 fire damage.
Oh, okay. So this is something that doesn't block.
No. So alterations naturally don't block the spots. They just modify that spot.
Okay.
Walls
so
are the exception.
Continuous.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So that's Grey Wolf and that's Malik's turn. So we can go.
Using my walls against me.
Well, it's better than running into this corner and then being trapped.
That's true. All right. And we draw a card.
Yep.
Let's see what we got here.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Grey Wolf's gonna come here and attack you for the 3.
I will take the 3. And it's a little guy, but he packs a punch.
Yeah.
All right.
So, just something right now that would be cool if you had it, but not saying it's worth it. But if you had the smoke bomb, what you could do, you can respond to your own abilities. So if you had moved back, play the smoke bomb while it's on the stack, shoot the Grey Wolf, and then smoke bomb away. So you can do things like that if you have those combos set up.
Oh, so you're saying like during my turn, I would be able to go move,
Yeah. Play the
shoot,
smoke bomb. In
play the smoke bomb.
response to the
In
smoke
response,
bomb, shoot the Grey Wolf, and then
so it
jump on the other side
resolves.
of the wall.
Oh, very cool. Some little shenanigans there.
Yeah.
Nice.
It just came to me. I thought I'd share that.
Let's see. Well, to your point, I want to keep your summons low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and we will shoot the wolf.
Yeah.
Pew. I don't think I want to play anything. Yeah, I guess that's me.
All right. All right. Malik's gone a rampage over there, and it's his turn. All right. We're going into the next round. So you can remove the insert token and draw a card.
So in theory, I would be able to play a swift action if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one. Oh, that's true. So you can't play any swift cards from your hand because you're exerted.
Well, I still can. I just can't play any swift abilities that cost exert.
Gotcha. But like cards from hand, if you had a swift, okay. I got nothing.
All right. So let's take these off and draw a card.
Okay. Whoop.
All right. We're going to come in and attack
Oh,
you
no.
for just the 2.
Just the 2.
Yeah.
So this is a swift basic attack. I have a response, right? Or at least I can do a response.
So we can build up the stack. Let's put that over here.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of the stack.
So let's do Gust.
All right. So that's
going to
cost
cost 12. So that's going to bring me down to 35.
Getting
Okay. Yeah.
But
But if that resolves, that will deal 2 damage to you and push you away.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I am going to continue being cruel here. I'm going to respond to that with a rampage toss. So
okay.
Discarding 3 cards off the top of my deck. If that resolves, I get to toss you, which would cancel your gust.
Correct. All right.
Do you have a response to a rampage toss?
That's the case. Then I will. Smoke bomb.
Yeah.
Gonna cost 10.
Yep.
And 3 off the top. Or 2 off the top,
2.
right?
Yeah.
Because of my energy
reduction.
Oh, I lost another smoke bomb. Sad. Okay.
Alright. So I'm not going to respond to the smoke bomb. You have the opportunity to respond to it if you want.
Which I think I will, because while I'm in range, I can shoot you.
Yep.
Correct?
So let's put Raha's attack onto the stack as well.
Okay.
So that will
All right.
exert you.
Yep. So I'll grab one of these guys.
So if you think of the cinematic nature, you know, you're shooting me, simultaneously you're smoke bombing away.
Right.
Just like through the mist,
Or-
you're shooting that arrow.
Exactly.
That hits me for 2, takes me down to 24. Smoke bomb resolves. So you can't move to this spot because it's occupied. So
Right.
you have to move there. Rampage toss tries
Great,
to
because
happen.
neither can you.
Yeah. Rampage toss tries to happen but fails.
Okay.
And same with Gust.
Correct.
So just because you have a new valid target in front of you, you can't change your target while the card's mid-stack. So your target for Gust was me and always me. So if I'm ever outside of Gust's awareness, the ability fizzles.
Right, I can't gust this wall.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then my ability fizzles. And that's the end of the round.
Awesome.
Now we go into the
I'm a
next
slippery little thing.
It's what Raha does.
Okay, Oh, very good. And I'll draw a card.
Yep.
Oh, I think I drew 2. Hold on a second. Gotta put this last one back. Boop.
All right.
Here we go.
So I'm gonna move forward 1, a little bit like this, but it should be okay. And I'm gonna beckon an Inferno Ghoul on top of the walls. So, like I was saying, even though the walls occupy the spot, I can still beckon on top of it.
Gotcha.
So that takes me down to 42 aura, and that dude comes out exerted. And then I'm just gonna attack this wall for 2.
Poor wall.
Wall's at 6 now.
So your Inferno Ghoul, in theory, could just stay on that wall space, and if I were in front of it, it would attack me, essentially on top of the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just hanging out on top of this wall.
Right.
Checking out the scenery.
Just chilling. Okay. Let's do this then. So as Raha, if I use an action, so if I do a summon first, do I not get to move?
So your move phase is always first, right? So you start
Move
with your
phase
move
is always
phase.
first.
You always make your move decision. Then you decide, are you going to move twice and go to your main, move once or 0 times, and what are your decisions at that point, right? But you always start your move, main, then end.
Gotcha. So I am going to. I don't want Mr. Inferno Ghoul to come creeping up on me, I don't think. Let's see. I will move here.
Okay.
And then I will beckon. Ooh, right. This guy.
All right.
Which is 9.
Mm-hmm. Down to 16 aura.
Where's the card that gets all my aura back?
So there's very few cards in the game that actually get you your aura back.
Okay.
They're mainly in blue, Axon, but they're usually so slow that they're not played on the competitive level very often.
Gotcha. All right, so that guy is exerted, but I can still play my swift range attack on the ghoul?
Correct.
I will do that. And then I think that's me.
Not into my hand.
Boop.
All right. Next round?
Yep. That guy and that guy. And draw 1.
I'm going to start by leaping.
Leaping? No.
It was my plan all along. Do you have a response to the leap?
I don't think I do. No.
Alright, Malik's coming right here and facing you. Alright, now I'm gonna play Rampage Toss.
Oh gosh.
Do you have a response to that?
No.
I'm gonna respond to it with my attack.
Okay.
So my attack goes off.
Because you don't want to toss me.
Yep. So my attack's gonna go off first, hitting you for 2.
Okay.
Then Rampage Toss is gonna hit you for another 2.
Bing bang.
And then I'm gonna grab you and throw you into the Infernal Pits, which are gonna hit you for another 2.
That's terrible. All right, combo. Very nice.
Combo.
Yeah, combo breaker.
All right, that's it for my turn. It's your go.
All right, I'll get a little retribution here. So you're exerted, so you're at least not going to swing back on this, right? So I'm going to move back and basic attack for 3 with Mr. Wolf there.
Rampage Toss?
No!
I had a lot of these. I drew them all like very beginning of the game. So I'm gonna take him and toss him onto the Inferno Pits as well.
So he's gonna die.
Yep. And then throw
Well, better you than me, Mr. Wolf. Then
Now,
All
something
right,
to
so at
note,
least
I have 11 cards left in my deck.
you have
So this
11
is where that
cards.
energy thing kind of comes in.
Ah,
So I really can't
right.
play many more energy-based stuff this game.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm on the pit, so I'm not going to take damage moving off of it, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to do this, double move, and shoot
Yeah, takes me down to
for
22.
2.
And that's the end of the round.
Yeah, all right. Try to get away from him, but I can't.
Um, do I try to go fast or... See, I don't have a lot of time to just like kind of wait it out.
Right.
I do need to keep some pressure on you. You have 10
I
health.
mean, the Inferno Pits were lovely, so...
So, oh, I can't even move twice and do that. Darn it.
I'm
Okay,
liking
let's
these
get some
walls.
distance. Let's go
So,
here.
I mean,
Let's just end my turn.
if we're talking about,
I'll attack this guy.
multiple strategies and whatnot, but, there could be something, especially with these walls, you can kind of, wall yourself out so that you just lose because you only have, X amount of cards left. So,
Yeah, they're
interesting.
definitely. So this part of the reason why alterations are always destroyable. Like even Inferno
Mhm.
Pits has only 6 health, I think. So if you
Right.
really wanted to, you could shoot it to death.
Sure.
But at the same time, like I've seen walls being played very strategically. I think there's a wall coming out in the next set, which is really gonna up the game and make people want to play with them.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to do a double move here.
Okay.
And let's see, actually,
You can stay there and shoot me. You have angles.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking actually. What I will do is I will turn at least and shoot you from here.
All right. That's gonna take me down to 20. All right.
Not dead yet.
Nope.
All right.
Next round.
Yep. Draw a card. What we got? Oh, jeez.
All right.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm gonna drop my big boy, the behemoth, for 20
Oh my gosh.
aura.
20. Oh, wow.
So he's a 5/5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a monster.
The dark attack for 5.
And then he has holy resistance. So if you ever do any holy damage.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I'm
Attack
gonna
straight
place him there, and then I'll attack this wall again. Bring it down to 4.
All right.
Hey, we're halfway there. All right,
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so that changed my plan. He's got 5. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna turn. So moving's always the first, to your point. And then I will shoot. I guess your behemoth here. I'm gonna shoot Malik actually. I'll do that. But then as a swift on the stack, I guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Nice.
gust Mr. Behemoth.
All right. So I do not have any responses to any of that. So I'm taking 2, going down to 18. Behemoth's going down to 3 and getting pushed over here. Let's make my dice a little bit bigger.
Get him out of my hair for a little bit.
Yeah. Because like he can't go this way because if he hits that Inferno Pits, he's on 1 health.
Yeah.
So you definitely slowed him down a lot. I was hoping that beckoning him onto the walls meant that I could just like, bulldoze over.
Just run off of it. Yeah,
So that
absolutely.
that gust was that's a good way to use your last remaining aura there.
Yeah.
All right, next round.
Next round. Oh, of course now I get all these crazy summons. Possibly my big guys now that I have nothing left.
All right. Um, Malik's gonna come over here and strike this for 2.
Sure.
Almost to the
I
limit.
poor wall. I will turn and shoot Malik
All right. Uh, this
because I
guy,
can't turn and move, right? No, I
you can,
can't.
you can.
Well, I mean, if I go here, I can't shoot
Yeah,
you.
then you can't
But
shoot him.
so yeah, I'll shoot you from there.
Okay, makes sense. I'm gonna slap down this wall down to 1 health.
All right.
And
Walls are closing in on me.
yeah, next round.
Next round.
Can you survive 7 more rounds?
Yeah. There's some interesting cards in here. Okay. Yeah, and you're at 16. You still quite healthy.
Yep. Malik starts at 30. That's his big thing. He has so much health. He's a very
Right.
forgiving champion when you're first starting to play. Alright. We are going to start with Malik. I'm going to drop this guy. So he's a zombie hound. He starts off with 6 health, but he does decay every single round.
Okay.
But that should be the last of my aura, taking me down to 7. Come
The
on.
decay at the end of each round, lose 1. Gotcha.
And then let's destroy this wall.
Oh no.
It's yours. It goes to your memory.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
I don't feel safe.
From the beginning of the game, it's finally gone.
So when you did that attack, oh no, because I would exert myself. Okay. In theory, could I have used Raha's Swift?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It would just exert me, and then I would essentially lose my turn.
Yeah. And
Gotcha.
with the behemoth right there, you probably don't want to lose your turn.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, not good. Not good. All right. So I am going to double move to here.
Yep.
And yeah, probably stay this direction. That's me.
Behemoth's gonna destroy this wall. Let's get that out of
Okay.
there. Take the dice. You can take the card. And that's the end of round. So this guy goes down to 5.
Draw my card. Is there a maximum hand size?
No.
Okay.
Let's. Ooh, you can swing in. Let's swing in for the 4 over here.
What you do about that?
Here we go.
All right. I will kind of do this, and I'll shoot at that behemoth.
Yeah, it's a 3. This big boy is gonna come over here.
Mm-hmm.
And Malik's gonna. Malik's gonna come over here.
Okay.
And that's the end of round. This guy goes down to
Oh
2.
boy. Yep.
Draw a card.
Draw a card. See if I can find a cheaper smoke bomb. Nope.
Alright, we're coming in for the 4.
Coming in for the 4. Let's see. So I can exert myself and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But then I wouldn't be able to move. So we are not gonna do that, I don't think. Yeah. Ow. Here's that chess game.
Yep, it's your go.
Okay. So we don't want to get killed by the behemoth. So I have to clean up my little corner here. As much as I told myself don't back yourself into a corner. But we're gonna go here and turn
Mhm.
and take a shot at that guy, yeah.
Yep, yep.
Mm.
All right, behemoth's coming off this way. I
Okay.
think that's checkmate, my friend.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're gonna go here and end the round. Next
So
round.
in theory, yeah, next round, I mean, well, you get to go first, so
Yep.
that is actually a big advantage there. But even if I were to go first, if I like moved here, I only have so many spaces. If I moved here, you can hit me with the behemoth as a swift,
Correct.
and then same thing here, right?
If you move there,
Now,
then Malik would hit you. You can
well,
move
if I
there,
double moved,
then you're
right,
exerted, and Malik gets to go.
right, then you still okay. So there is in a certain way some checkmates, especially when you get to low aura.
Mhm. Correct. Correct. So the way I look at it is, if you are actually coming in for a pit fight arena thing, you're going to come in full power, full resources, full everything. But at the end of the fight, it should be that slug fight of like, throwing
Yeah, the fatigue
punches.
really sets in.
Yeah. So like really, I had 4 cards left in my deck. If you could have avoided me for 4 more rounds, you would have won.
Right. And that could have been, at some point I could have made a choice to play,
Yeah.
2 more walls
Yeah.
instead of, you know, knowing that it takes you, 3 or 4 turns to beat through them.
Yeah.
Um, Interesting.
So
All right.
that's game.
Well, there you go. Good game, sir.
All right. Let's stop the recording.